Alright guys, we're back out here for day 2 of the canoe. Made definitely a lot of progress, but we got a lot more to do. First steps is sealing up the rest of these cracks. As you can see, we finished this one. Patched it on the inside and the outside, but we do have a lot more to go. Then we have to put the metal back on so we can keep the shape of the canoe. We had to take it off so we could bend it back. And then we'll see what we can do after that.
Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to form this rail here to get it back, to put it back on the boat. Okay, we have a lip where this folds up, so we're going to have to get this all back up under this lip. And I'm going to use as much of the old material as I can, try to fit it back onto this, and then we're going to use this angle iron here and just kind of tie it all together with screws or rivets or whatever we use. Ethan's still working on the cracks, so he's going to keep working on the cracks while I work on this. I'm just using these screwdrivers here to spread the gap open here a little bit, because it gets real thin and I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze that back onto that plastic. So I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll try to squeeze it back shut, or even just put screws through it and pull it shut, one or the other, but we'll see what happens. Ethan's bragging on his work here, so let's check it out.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, actually it does. Good and hot yet.
The inside's
just burnt
done.
my finger.
Inside's done on this
That's
side.
going to be good. The only thing is I don't think that's all going to be strong enough for this back here. So I think what we're going to end up doing on this here is we're going to be, it's already pulling apart just from the weight of this. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting a plate of metal on the inside and out to cover this gap. And probably on that corner over there too. That one's not as bad, but there's a lot of structure there. So we're probably going to cover that with some metal and some Flex Seal or something. And maybe we'll try to find some Scanoe green paint. I'll bring it back over here, show you what we're doing here. Working on this. Just kind of trying to spread it a little bit, just so the gap's not as tight and we can work the plastic into it a little bit easier. Don't want to go crazy on it, just want to open it up a little bit. Okay, so let's see if we can get this back on the boat. I got this section right here. I'm going to need to try to soften it and shape it a little bit, maybe to get it to fit into the metal better, because this is not going to work this way. I'm not sure what I'm probably going to use a pair of pliers or something to bend it. Not sure, but we're going to see what we can do. Do me a favor, get me that clamp. Clamp this. Put the clamp here and here. Like there. So I can hold this and try to straighten this out.
Back here?
Down here, because I need to work here. That's good. Just put it on good and tight. There we go.
It is hotter today, but I think there's more of a breeze today.
More of a breeze and a little overcast too.
Yeah.
Then it stops it. Alright, looks like Ethan's got a technique that's working pretty good for him with all these bigger holes that we got. So what are you doing there, Ethan?
So I'm still doing the same thing where I'm taking the plastic soldering iron and putting in the
screen,
the metal mesh, and then it's taking too long with that, so I decided to use the blowtorch for the bigger spots, melt it down, and then kind of lay it in and then scrape it off. Yeah. And then
let me get an angle where I could see what you're doing there.
just heat it up real good.
Gets it good and soft, almost liquefied. It's actually burning a little bit there, it looks like. But it looks like it's liquefied. Just watch it don't drip on you there. And he just smears it in there like a putty. The lighting out here is not the best today, but that's all right.
And then just keep doing that until it's sealed. Like we did this one this way.
So you gotta
it's got
that down a little bit, but that's all right.
And the outside we did that way.
Now, like I said, these larger gaps here are just because of, I don't think that's going to be able to hold it, the weight of the canoe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some sheet metal in there on both sides with Flex Seal or something in between, pop rivet it between, and that should give it some stability there. As far as leak wise, I think the plastic will keep it from leaking, but I'm not so sure about strength. All the other ones are kind of minimal. Okay, I'm trying to come up with a new way to melt this plastic. What I'm trying to do here, and it's actually working pretty good. I put it in this stainless steel pan here, and I'm hitting it with the heat, with the torch from underneath. I'm trying to get it to melt. It seems to be working pretty good. And the plan would be to just kind of scoop it out while it's melted down. Bubbling up a little bit, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I guess I could put it on the grill or something too and kind of heat it that way too. I don't know. That might be the next thing we do. But Ethan thought maybe it'd be nice to put it in something where we could just heat it up and melt it that way. It's actually getting pretty soft. Yeah, see, it's melting down there. I don't want it to catch fire, but it is working pretty good. Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah. And we could probably smear it on right like this. Alright, it's starting to harden up again, so I guess we gotta stay on it with the heat. Okay, we're trying to get this rail to straighten out for me. It's just kind of... Alright. I think I need to clamp it. I'm going to keep pressing it in until we can get the shape that I want here. course, it's twisting the plastic underneath here, but I can't do nothing about that right now. Now I want to get this shaped and go with that. Then we'll take care of the plastic later. I'm going to try to do the same on that other bend up there. You notice there's a bend in there. Yeah, there's a slight bend right here. I'm going to try to press that out. Still haven't figured out how I'm going to get this boat to twist straight. I guess we'll figure it out eventually. But if you noticed, if you look at it, it twists that way. So I don't know how I'm going to straighten that out. But we'll work on it. I'm thinking though, if I shorten this a little bit on this side, it's going to pull it in. So, but that'll remain to be seen. Okay, what we're trying to do here is this piece here. Ethan, you want to explain this to him?
Yeah, so right now, I guess we could start real quick with what we did yesterday.
Let's do this side first.
This time?
Then we'll explain that.
So right now, this side's pushed in, and right now we have to push it back out and heat it up and get it all even so we can reseal this big crack. Right now we're pushing it out, and then we're gonna heat it up so we can flatten it, and then hopefully get it close enough and sealed up so we can patch it.
Okay, well, as this softens up, I'm going to move the 2x4 a little bit more and more as much as I have to and clamp it. I don't think we have to go much more than where we're at. Got a little bit of problem on the bottom we'll have to work at. That might have to be a piece of 2x4 that we push it with. All right, Ethan, you want to explain this part? Let's get this stuff and show them what we got. Get your product over there too. We forgot to film this yesterday before we did it, but that's what we want. We'll show you what we've done. All right, want to go ahead and explain it?
So we did the same thing similar to this side, heated it up, got it as close as possible. And then we used this roof patch sealant. We went out on a whim, hopefully it will work. We're not 100% sure, we just thought we'll give it a try. So we took our sheet metal and we put a coating on each side and pressed it in as like a binder. And then we drove pop rivets through it. We just need to shave these off. But right now it's still wet. So we're gonna leave it for a few days and see if it dries out. If it does dry out, then we'll just keep it and, you know, see what happens. Paint over it and stuff. If it doesn't dry out, then we'll just have to strip it all down and restart.
All right. We also reinforced the rails with this angle iron. I need to put a few more screws in here to pull everything together. I ran out of screws, but we got it clamped good enough to keep the rail together. Did the same up here because I had, if you remember, I had to cut the rail so that we could push this whole side out, which that side actually came out pretty good. I didn't think we would actually get that out of there. And we did a little patch here with the heat gun, but we gotta grind that down. Patch is just a little crack there, so we're gonna grind most of that out. So what you're gonna have to do on this side, you can get something flat that you can press that and kind of press it flat on there once I press it out. This is probably gonna fold over, whatever, we'll just melt it together, whatever we gotta do. I'm gonna put a little more pressure on it. Try to get this really good and soft. I'm going to try to push another piece of wood up against it. I don't know if I can clamp it or not, but that would be best. Let me see if I can find something.